An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. The dormitories. I wonder how many people stop at the refuge these days. This must be Lenny's room. Not sure I'm allowed in here, really. Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. Then I will be blameless, innocent of great transgression. Sweet. Photos of the refuge. Looks like they're arranged by time period. There are no photos of the occupation of Vaughan by the Brown Shadow. I guess that corresponds to when Lenny and her father had to leave the refuge. These date from before the war. There's even one from the summer when Dana worked at the refuge. All these photos go up to the 80s, including my date of birth. This series ends at 2002, 3 years ago, when I began my journey with Oscar and Hans's train. That's pretty impressive. Obviously helps Lenny get up and about. She's still sitting there, watching. Wonder what she's thinking about. cold in here. Austere. Looks like a storage room. Another of those cigar butts. So that's the painting Dana told Lenny's father to buy. Not bad. And similar in style to my painting. Wonder what the others were like. There. But who could have left it open? Take-up reel. Like the ones used on old cinema projectors. I must remember to ask Lenny about it. This must be Yunta's coffer, the one Lenny spoke about. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much.
What now, Fräulein? I was just about to doze off.
Can you tell me about the resistance medal with your name on it?
Sure, I was in the Resistance. Not for those medals, though. Nothing but tin charms. You see, there's those who received medals, and those that were killed. And besides, they aren't gonna give me my legs back, are they?
No, but they prove you played a part in the liberation of your country.
Puh, nonsense. Nothing but bad memories. I'd rather not talk about it.
How did you meet Leon Kobatis?
Why do you ask? You from the police or something?
No, I just thought I'd ask, since you seem to appreciate him. Didn't you?
Fräulein, when I said you could look in the guest rooms, it didn't include my room. But yes, like I said before, he was a regular customer even before the episode with Dana. To me, he was like a movie star. What young girl wouldn't be bowled over by a young, handsome alpinist? And to top it off, an Olympic medalist?
About Yunta's coffer.
What about it?
You wouldn't happen to know the combination, would you?
I told you before, I don't know it.
I'll be going then. That must be the piano Dana played on the night she met Leon. The night Lenny told me about.
Fraulein Laney will end up catching her death of cold if she stays out like that.
Lenny's father must have made this stair lift to help her get up and down the stairs. Must have taken him many hours. It's touching when you think about it. Dormitories. I wonder how many people stop at the refuge these days. Amazing. Now it shows the view from the terrace. She's still sitting there, watching. Wonder what she's thinking about.
The coffer Yunta used for her equipment is up in the loft.
If this goes on, I'll end up reading my way through the entire bookcase.
A mechanical stove. Seen better days. Another object with the look of the Varlberg workshop. Austere. Looks like a storage room. Another of those cigar butts. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much. The meager amount I've managed to save since I escaped from the mine. Oh, Mom. Take-up reel, like the ones used on old cinema projectors. This series ends at 2002, 3 years ago, when I began my journey with Oscar and Hans's train. These date from before the war. There's even one from the summer when Dana worked at the refuge. There are no photos of the occupation of Vaughan by the Brown Shadow. I guess that corresponds to when Lenny and her father had to leave the refuge. All these photos go up to the 80s, including my date of birth. That's pretty impressive. Obviously helps Lenny get up and about. There are no photos of the occupation of Vaughan by the Brown Shadow. I guess that corresponds to when Lenny and her father had to leave the refuge. Another of those cigar butts. An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. It's not the time to take the tram back. There's still a lot to do here. There's a cap blocking the view. There must be a way of removing it. Oh, the mechanism is blocking it. I have to put in a coin. Typical. That's the fabled Silberspiegel. Oh, I wish I had time to watch it change color. So that's what they call the Devil's Pass. Incredible. The bodies of the resistance fighters that the alpinist mentioned must be inside.
It was Father who mechanized all the refuge for me.
A film developing company. They probably developed Yunta's films and sent them back once they were done. Looks like she didn't note down the end of her meeting with Dana. But it might still contain the info I need to open the coffer. No doubt Yunta must have written this. Summer 1937. The year Dana worked here. Let's see. I filled my last diary last night. Ordered another one, but still waiting for supplies to be delivered to the refuge. Using an old envelope in the meantime. Today invited Dana for a chat after her shift.
I'd like to know what Leon sees in her. I've never seen him so smitten. Thanks for popping up, Dana. How did the shift go?
Fine, same as usual.
Just finishing up here, then I'll make us a nice cup of tea.
Wow, that looks futuristic. What is it?
Ah, that little baby is my viewer. That's why it goes in the coffer.
What does it do?
I use it to put together and edit the rushes.
The what?
Rushes. In other words, the strips of unedited footage. I've finished today's selection, so be a dear and put it in the coffer, would you?
I would if I knew how.
Oh, just turn the key in the lock.
The key Junta asked me to hide.
Dana, be a darling and put the key somewhere safe. You can't be too careful with these mountain people, especially with that little Lenny sniffing around my equipment all the time.
Where do you normally put it?
I have a little hiding place over there.
That's a lot of equipment you have there. If you don't mind my asking, how do you manage to pay for it all?
Oh, that's easy, especially when you know a few generous patrons of the arts, dear.
Did you take the photos of the athletes? You're not often lonely then.
Well, look at our sweet little waitress. Doesn't she have a saucy mind? It's called art, dear. My work aims to explore every facet of youth and the vitality of bodies.
I bet it does.
Hey, you little snoop. Where do you think you're going?
Just looking. I love your photos.
Ah, well, they each represent an element of mountain wildlife and flora I've photographed recently. I use them as a sort of checklist.
A checklist, huh? Junta's blank film, soon to become movies. All these newspaper clippings mention the brown shadow. According to Father, their influence is growing among the population. Now that I've had the misfortune of meeting Herr Huss here, I understand his concern. Did you take this picture?
Of course.
How did you get to film them training?
Oh, it was a commission. Lucky, really. Right place, right time kind of thing. Of course, I jumped at the chance because it meant I could film Leon in action at last.
And Herr Huss, what's he doing with the Origin expedition?
Unfortunately, all scientific expeditions sponsored by the Brown Shadow come with a chaperone like him. There to make sure their funds are used as they see fit. In other words, that there is no divergence with regards to their ideology.
How did you and Leon get together? I mean, how did you...
We're just friends, if that's what you want to know.
Herr Gustav's radio. Looks like he customized it, probably to compensate for the wave disturbance due to the mountains.
Thanks for helping, Dana dear.
Is this where you want me to put the key?
Yes, there's a dear.
It's a handy hiding place. Who made it?
Oh, Herr Gustav. He knows only too well that some customers have their little secrets, you know.
Yunta's key should be safe in there.
Just need to finish preparing for the filming tomorrow, then we can chat away to our heart's content. If you could just fetch me a new roll of film from the darkroom, then we're done.
Here are the film rolls Yunta asked me for.
Darn it. The end of Yunta's notes. Impossible to know what happened next. But maybe I can figure out how to open the coffer from what I've read.
Get away!
Yunta's coffer key. According to Yunta's notes, there was a room on the other side. I can't reach it anymore, but Dana could. Vaughan Refuge, 1937. Yunta's films, taken during the summer Dana worked here. This one says Lenny, director. So I guess Lenny did get to make her film after all. I'll need a key to open it. Where can I find the combination for the mechanism? Interesting footage. Let's see what's on the other reel. Lenny didn't say she filmed a fight between Dana and Leon. I'd better go back and see her to find out about it. Demoiselle Lenny, I saw the film you shot of Dana and Leon.
So Junta kept it. She got so cross when she discovered I'd rummaged through her stuff. She most certainly had secrets of her own, that one.
I know it was ages ago, but can you recall what happened between Dana and Leon that day?
You do like flogging a dead horse, don't you, Fräulein? But as you please. Since Junta never let me use her camera, I decided not to ask her anymore. Like that, she couldn't say no, could she? And that's when I heard them arguing.
How could you agree to this, Leon? How could you?
I told you I had no choice. The local guide for Baltayar can't do it anymore. He got injured.
Why don't you just refuse then? It's their stupid expedition, not yours.
Look, Dana, I didn't want to tell you, but...
But what?
Frank Huss, that brute from the other night. He's the one that made the call here. In other words, he's taking revenge by sending me to the other side of the world with the Origin expedition. And he said that if I refused, something might happen. Not just to me, but to you as well.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're a Vegarian and so are your parents, right? Well, Huss says it won't be long before the Brown Shadow is in power, and he made it clear that something was brewing, and that you and your parents would be first on the list.
What list?
I don't know, but it can't be good. Then he said that other Vegarians would follow.
Dear God.
Dana, darling, the world's gone crazy. Promise me you'll be very careful. It will be all right if you just watch yourself and what you say. I've asked Junta to stand by you just in case. It won't be long, darling. Half a school year at the music academy. I'll be home for Christmas. Promise. Oh, come here now, my pretty Edelweiss.
Don't call me that. You know I don't like it.
It's true, though. That's exactly where you are, my pretty Edelweiss.
If you keep that up, Leon Kobatis, I'll find you a nickname too.
Go on, then.
All right. Your nickname will be Alpine Lover from now on.
All right, but maybe you ought not to say this in public. Beautiful, isn't it? I could stay here forever.
There, Fräulein Walker. That is all I have to say. I hope this time you have what you need to continue on your journey.
Thank you, Demoiselle Lenny. But there is just one more thing. You mentioned a music academy? They must have ledgers and archives. Maybe I'll be able to find out whether Dana left an address there.
Well, it hasn't moved. It's still in Vargan. Go to the musicians' district. It's right next to the musical square. That's all I can tell you. So if you don't mind, Fräulein.
Thank you. Then that's where I'll continue my search.
Is it really worth your while to keep looking for Dana? Is it not just another pipe dream, Fräulein? I get the impression there have been others.
I prefer to look at it as a calling. Besides, I don't have much choice. Thanks to you, she's a part of me now.
As you wish. I hope you find what you are looking for.
Thank you. Again. I've got everything I need from here, I guess. Best get back to the guest house. Get some rest. I'll go to the music academy first thing in the morning. I found her, my sweet Katusha. The girl in the painting. Her name is Dana. Dana Rose.
That's nice, Kate. Real nice.
I'm gonna find out who she was, just like I promised you.
Nothing more than a good old adventure to forget your grief, I guess. You should go, Kate, or you're gonna miss the tram. There will always be a train for you.
Oh, gosh. What a day. I hope Oscar's okay, wherever he is. I'm not abandoning him. I just need to find him. Closed. It's late. Frau Wagner must have gone to bed.
I beg you, Kate, please come back and say goodbye to your mother. Call me so we can organize your return in the best conditions possible. Call me, for the sake of what's left of our friendship.
There's no point. It's too late, Olivia. Junta. Demoiselle Lenny told me a lot about her. But was she some kind of spy? It's a shame that Demoiselle Lenny is so modest about having been a member of the Resistance. She's a true hero. No results about Dana. She probably never got famous. Nothing relevant. The expedition mustn't have led to any major breakthrough, I guess. The more I discover about Dana, the more I get the feeling I'm only scratching the surface of Vaughan's history. Oh, but hey, let's call it a day. I really should go to bed now.
Is that you, Katie?
Yes, Mom! I mean, who else can it be? Another letter for Dad. Last time it took Mom days to find the strength to open it. Grandpa and Grandma from New York gave it to me for my last birthday. I really ought to read it, or at least dog-ear the pages so it looks like I did. Mom bought those again. Mom bought those again. The piano that Mom ordered will soon be here. Couldn't bring myself to tell her that I wanted a drum kit instead. Wow. I hope I get to travel around the world too when I grow up.
Oh, hello, Munchkin.
Hey, Mom. We haven't seen Grandpa and Grandma for a long time. Mom says they'll probably come over from New York on her birthday.
Is everything okay, Katie?
Mommy, can I go out and play with Olivia?
That depends on you, Munchkin. Did you finish your homework?
Yeah? More or less.
So I can come check it then, right, Katie?
looks too cold to go out. Think I'll stay in.
Just what I was thinking.
Not fair. Looks like Mom's friends came over again last night. She's been seeing them a lot since what happened to Dad. Maybe too much. Come on, I've been cooped up in my room for hours. Jeez, pulling my hair out trying to figure out the math problem Miss Wormwood gave us. I deserve a break, right? You forgot your music box.
Be careful with that, please, Munchkin.
Where'd this come from?
I already told you. Your grandma and grandpa gave it to me when I was little.
Doesn't look like it's from New York, though.
I don't know. Must have been in the family forever.
I just love it.
You've always liked it. Ever since you were little.
Will you give it to me when I'm big?
Maybe, if you're a good girl, when I get old.
So when will that be then?
Later, Katie.
But when?
In a very, very long time, I guess. When I'll be gone.
Dear Kate, wherever you are now, despite the sad news it contains, I hope this letter reaches you in time.
Oh, give it a rest, Olivia. Ah, what the hell? You want me to call you Olivia? Fine. I've survived worse criticism. I shouldn't put it off. I better call Olivia while I have the courage. Who do you think you are, Olivia Foster? It's easy to judge and lecture me from New York. You know nothing about what I've gone through, of what I've had to endure since leaving Hans. Looks like I'm not the only one who can't sleep tonight. This is not the time to surf the web. If I don't call Olivia now, I never... Don't know why I should be so nervous about making a simple phone call. I mean, hey, I've crossed Europe, been in all sorts of danger, and yet look at me here. I'm worrying about talking to my former best friend. Oh, and I think I used to spend my life on the phone gossiping with her. So what do I risk? Criticism? The one who missed her mother's funeral because she was breaking rocks at the bottom of a mine. In any case, Olivia hasn't stopped criticizing me ever since I left Valladolid on Hans Vorarlberg's train. I'm the one who should be criticizing her. I mean, come on. Isn't she the one who took advantage of my absence to get her hooks into Dan? Now look at me, mulling over old grudges. That's exactly what I wanted to escape from when I decided to go with Hans in his train to Syberia. And then there was the departure with the Yukon tribe, their seasonal migration. Come on, Kate, for Christ's sake, stop procrastinating. Just make the darn call and get it over with.
Hello? Hello? Mr. Canton, is that you? Who's there, please?
Got your letter, Olivia.
Kate, I sent it 2 years ago.
I know, things have been complicated.
Complicated? I see. And so when are you coming back to New York? You know, to visit your mother's grave?
You know I can't come back, Olivia. I'm still wanted by the police over the sale of the Vorarlberg factory.
Oh, I haven't forgotten, believe me. If only you knew how much the accusations hurt your mother. Visits from the police, the requisitions, and just when she was diagnosed, too. And yet the poor woman never stopped hoping that her daughter would come back one day. Or at least call to help her in her final days.
I don't have to justify myself to you, Olivia, or to anyone else.
Kate, Okay, listen to me. I thought you had plenty of time to think about how you abandoned all of us. Me, your mother, Dan, or even that poor Mr. Canton. And maybe felt at least some remorse. But I guess I was dreaming. All you do is keep chasing castles in the sky and ignore those who care about you.
Are you done?
Oh, Kate, I should have known. And I should never have asked you to call me. Goodbye, Kate. I hope you find whatever it is you've been looking for these past 3 years. One thing's for sure, though. You wanted to be alone, and that's how you're gonna stay.
Okay, let's go, kiddo. Another day, another page. A new day in Vaughan. I must take the tram to that music academy where Dana Rose was a student in the 1930s. With a bit of luck, they'll have kept her records. Demoiselle Lenny told me the music academy is near the musical square. Maybe Frau Wagner can tell me more.
Ah, hello, Miss Walker. Ah, Miss Walker, did you sleep all right?
Fine, thanks.
Now, is there anything you need?
Everything seems to link the person I'm looking for with the Second World War and the rise of the Brown Shadow.
Terrible times were those, my dear. Especially when Vaughan was occupied after the annexation of Ostertal. Thank God I was born just after the liberation.
I see, but I guess you had to grow up with the after effects of those events.
Oh yes, dear. There was a kind of conspiracy of silence where everyone suspected each other, even their close friends. Did any of them collaborate with the enemy? And if so, was it through like-mindedness or simple cowardice? Were they responsible in one way or another for the arrest or death of a family member?
I must have been awful.
A terrible time, really.
Well, the person I'm looking for is from the same generation.
You'll just have to hope she managed to survive the madness then.
I went to the Silberspiegel Refuge yesterday. Oh, magnificent.
I won't disagree with that, Miss Walker. Those mountains are the pride of the town, just like old Lenny.
Lenny is highly respected in Vaughan because she was a resistance fighter during World War II, right? Well, I heard about it when I was at the refuge.
Lenny Renner might be a grumpy old spinster, but to us she's still a heroine. Pity the same can't be said of her father, though. Still, everyone has their cross to bear, as they say.
What do you mean?
No point gossip-mongering. The war was a dark time in Vaughan for everyone, see? Best not stir up old memories.
I'd like to go to the music academy. Can you tell me how to get there?
You just need to take the tram northbound to the musical square.
Is there anything I should know about the Academy?
To tell the truth, it's a little glum nowadays. Especially when you think it was once the jewel of the town, where students came from all over the world to perform on the musical square, you know. Pity. It's since lost its panache of old through lack of students and means.
Well, I guess I should get going. Thank you for your time, Frau Wagner.
Feel free to ask if you have any more questions.
Stop it! Oh dear. Help! Help! Someone! Help! Put me down!
Oscar?
Bet you can't catch it!
Don't you dare! Put it down! Right now!
Alright then.
Oscar! Are you all right?
I had a bit of a bumpy ride, but I am glad to see you, Kate Walker.
Oscar. Oh, I've missed you so much.
I say, this display of emotion is most unreasonable, Kate Walker. I do hope you don't plan such profusion every time I change bodies.
It's just that I've been worrying about you. Where were you, Oscar?
Well, the mechanical instinct of my host took me for a ride, all across town. It took me the whole night to tame it, and that's when I bumped into those little rascals.
Yeah, lucky I was in the area, huh?
Quite. So, Kate Walker, what has happened since we parted at the Balaton River?
Maybe we should just sit down for a second, Oscar. This might take a while. And that's when Demoiselle Lenny gave me the address of the Music Academy in this neighborhood.
I see, Kate Walker.
You must think I'm crazy, huh? Running after that girl, Dana, who must have died ages ago.
Well, Kate Walker, you know I have difficulty understanding illogical thought patterns. But in the end, what I do understand is that you need to find her. Is that correct, Kate Walker?
Yes, that is correct, Oscar. I'm glad you're taking it so well.
I don't see any fundamental difference between crossing Europe in search of mammoths, traveling on ostriches in an irradiated zone, or following your double. These are not things an automaton such as I take into consideration.
Any other thoughts, Oscar?
Well, I guess I could ask you where we are heading, but truth be told, it doesn't really matter. I will follow you wherever you lead, and for as long as you require my services, Kate Walker. That's what an automaton does.
Thank you, Oscar.
Oh dear, I hope you're not going to become physical, are you?
No, I was just going to give you a pat on the back.
I would rather you refrain from having such thoughts. I am not a dog, you know. Whatever next?
Anyway, we'd better get going, Oscar, and you'd better keep out of sight.
Oh dear, I don't suppose I have any choice.
I'm so glad he's back.
Would you mind using a bigger bag in the future? Is there anything that requires my assistance? Is everything all right, Kate Walker? I'm counting on you to transplant my mechanical heart as soon as we come across an XZ2000 automaton. Yes, Kate Walker? Kate Walker? It's all very humiliating for a sophisticated automaton like myself, you know. How is your research going, Kate Walker? Is everything all right, Kate Walker? Is it really necessary for me to be shut up in here, Kate Walker?
Sorry, Oscar, but I don't want to run the risk of losing you again.